Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Muhammad Elliot Kajurami Ishaq. My ID number is SMK24110087. I'm from KPM Iskandar and my course is Diploma in Marketing. So I'm going to proceed with question 1. Inflation is the rise in the general price level of goods and services over time. When prices go up, the value of money falls, meaning we can buy fewer things with the same amount of money. In other words, inflation reduces our purchasing power. A small amount of inflation is normal and can show that the economy is growing. But high inflation can make it harder for people to afford daily needs. According to Bank Negara Malaysia, Malaysia's inflation rate in 2025 is expected to be between 1.5% and 2.3%. This forecast means that prices are likely to increase slowly and steadily throughout the year. It also suggests that Malaysia's economy is quite stable and the cost of living will not rise too quickly. The report from Business Today on August 15, 2025 mentioned that Malaysia's economy grew 4.4% year-on-year in the second quarter of 2025. Growth was supported by strong domestic demand, higher household spending, and more investment. At the same time, headline inflation eased to 1.3%, while core inflation, which excludes items with unstable prices, stayed steady at 1.8%. These figures show that even though the economy is growing, the rise in prices remains under control. This is a good sign because it means people can still manage their expenses and businesses can plan better without worrying about sudden price increases. BNM's forecast also reflects their effort to maintain price stability through careful monetary policies, such as adjusting interest rates. A stable inflation rate like this helps Malaysia stay on a solid footing, even when facing global economic challenges. In short, the 1.5% to 2.3% inflation forecast shows that Malaysia's economy is growing in a healthy and balanced way, with stable prices, steady spending, and strong domestic demand. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Daniel bin Johar, SMK 24110098. Today, I will present the question 2. When inflation is expected to remain low, it means that the general price level of goods and services in the economy is stable, and there is a little pressure for prices to rise quickly. In the case of Malaysia, according to other article, Bank Negara Malaysia expect inflation in 2025 to average between 1.5% to 2.3%, which is considered moderate and under control. Because inflation is not rising too fast, Bank Negara Malaysia has more policy space to lower interest rates without the fear of worsening inflation. Normally, when inflation is high, central bank raise interest rate to reduce spending and borrowing. But when inflation is low, they can safely cut interest rate to encourage economic growth. Lowering overnight policy rate (OPR) make borrowing cheaper for consumer and businesses. When banks charge lower interest rate on loans, households are more likely to spend on housing, vehicle, or other major purchases. At the same time, businesses can borrow more easily to expand production, hire more workers, or invest in new projects. All this action helps to stimulate domestic demand and support GDP growth. In this article, Bank Negara Malaysia actually reduced the OPR to 2.75% in July 2025 as a preemptive measure against external risks such as weaker global trade and tariff uncertainties. This move was aimed at keeping Malaysia's economy on a solid footing because inflation is expected to remain low. Bank Negara Malaysia can prioritise economic expansion rather than focusing or controlling prices. Additionally, a low inflation environment helps maintain customer confidence and purchasing power, which further supports household spending on one of the key drivers to Malaysia economic growth. It also helps businesses plan their costs more efficiently since price level remain predictable.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Sadan Azmi Shanwa and my ID number is SMK24110093 and I'm from KPM Sri Iskandar and my course name is Diploma in Marketing. So today I'll be discussing how Malaysia lower inflation rate affect consumer purchasing power, business investment decision and government fiscal policy. So according to Bank Negara, Malaysia's report, headline inflation eased to 1.3% in the second quarter of 2025, showing that price increases are under control and the economy remains stable. Firstly, let's look at consumer purchasing power. When inflation is low, prices of goods and services rise slowly. This means people can buy more with the same amount of money. In Malaysia's case, the low inflation forecast allows households to enjoy higher real income and greater financial stability. The article also mentioned resilient domestic demand and higher household spending, which show that consumers are confident when the prices remain stable. This helps sustain Malaysia's economic growth of 4.4% in 2025. Okay, next, let's talk about business investment decisions. Stable inflation creates a predictable environment, making it easier for business to plan cost and pricing. From the article, we can see that investment activity remained robust and demand for electrical and electronic goods stayed strong. Furthermore, Bank Negara Malaysia cut the overnight policy rate or OPR to 2.75%, reducing borrowing costs. This encourages businesses, especially SME, to expand as shown by SME financing increased by 6.9%. So the last one is government fiscal policy. With inflation remaining low, the government faces less pressure to spend on subsidy or cash handout to control living costs. Instead of it can focus on long-term investment such as ICT development, data centers, and infrastructure, all of which were highlighted in the article. A low and steady inflation rate also allow government to maintain fiscal stability and ensure Malaysia stay on a solid footing against global challenge. So, as a conclusion, a lower inflation rate benefits the entire economy. First one, it protects consumer purchasing power. The second one, encourages businesses to invest and expand. And last one is give the government room to plan sustainable fiscal policy. So, overall, Malaysia's low inflation outlook for 2025 reflects a healthy balance between growth and price stability, a sign of economic resilience and effective policy management. So that's all from me. Thank you.
So hi everyone, my name is Arman Nafif and my ID is SMK24110082. I'm from Diploma in Marketing. Today, I'm discussing whether the government should continue providing subsidies and cash handout when inflation is expected to remain low. To support my argument, I refer to the Labour Force Statistics 2024 by Department of Statistics Malaysia, or as known as DOSM. According to the data, Malaysia employment rate declined to 3.2% in 2024, the lowest since pandemic. Your unemployment also shown improvement, although the 15 to 24 age group still contributes 53.3% to total employment. This indicates that while the overall economy is stabilizing, some groups still need support. In the short term, continuing subsidy and cash handout can still play an important role even when inflation is low. Firstly, these aids can help low income and employed individuals manage living costs while searching for jobs. As shown in the infographic, 92.8% of the employed have been jobless for less than 3 months, meaning most are temporarily unemployed. Short-term cash assistance can provide a safety net during this transition period. However, in the long term, the government should gradually reduce dependence on subsidy and instead focus on targeted support and job creation programs. With unemployment declining and inflation under control, continuing broad subsidies might lead to the fiscal strain where government spending becomes too high and limit future investment in education, skill and innovation. As seen in the labour force chart, most unemployment individuals are young people aged 15 to 24. Rather than giving continuous handout, the government could channel those funds into your employment initiative, vocational training and digital skill program. This would create a more sustainable workforce and reduce the need for cash aid in the future. So for the conclusion, while subsidies and cash handout are useful in the short term to protect vulnerable groups and support spending, they should be gradually reduced in the long term as the economy stabilizes. Instead, measures should focus on creating quality jobs and enhancing skill development, especially for ensuring long-term growth and financial sustainability. That's all from me. Thank you.